Hello everybody, it's Josie here. I'm doing another one of my charity book hauls. So, charity shops and me, we are big friends. I love scouring a charity shop and going around and seeing what I can find. And big piles of books, clearly, are my passion. I was trying to restrict myself in the book buying department this year. Clearly, I have zero restraint when it comes to buying books. My TBR is getting bigger. It was supposed to be getting smaller. However, I will say that these books are bargains because what tends to happen, and I don't know if this is like, bear with me, some sort of universe manifesting type of scenario, but I tend to like keep lists of books that I want to read. And that would be for new releases and also backlisted books. So if I'm listening to someone's video and I'm like, oh, that sounds incredible, or I see a review that I like, or I just happen to be browsing and see a book that I think, oh, that sounds really good, I want to read it, I'll put it on a list. And what I found lately is that I've been going into charity shops and actually finding the books that I have on that list, which, if you think about it, is pretty cool because, you know, these are just me picking up random recommendations and putting down random books and then walking into a random charity shop where literally you could have anything in there and actually finding the specific book that I was looking for. So that is really cool. And then obviously there's that other element of just kind of walking around and looking at the books and picking stuff up and seeing if there's anything that you might like. So all of that preamble leads me to massive stack of books purchased. So I'm going to go through these and let you know what I bought. So the first one here is this one. This is The Danish Girl. I know that obviously this has been really popular. It's been made into a film. So this cover has the actors in it, Oscar-winning film. So basically it's a transgender story. So I guess the first transgender woman. And it's something that I've been wanting to read for ages. I haven't seen the film, so I want to read the book, and I've been holding off seeing the film so I could read the book. Clearly it's been a while, but I'm really looking forward to this, so I couldn't believe I managed to find this for 99p in a charity shop. The next one that I was shocked to find is Jeanette Winterson's The Passion. Again, Jeanette Winterson is not somebody I see a lot of in charity shops, and I've been wanting to read more Jeanette Winterson. I can never say her name properly. The Passion just sounds like a really interesting one. It's about art, it's about fantasy, it's about gender bending. It's all sorts of interesting, fantastical, wonderful things that I love. And I love this cover. How cool is that cover? So again, one that I'm kind of dying to get to, and it's a nice short read as well, so I might get to that pretty soon. The next two books are by the same author, who again, I have been looking for both of these books specifically, but also this is an author that I really like and I want to read more of. And that author is Emma Donoghue. No O, just Emma Donoghue. Oh my God. Anyway, so Emma Donoghue is the author of a book that's on my TBR called Stir Fry, and she tends to write a lot of historical fiction, but also with a slight queer bent to it. So this one is her newest book, The Wonder, and this one is kind of, I think it's kind of magical realism, mystery, a bit of fantasy, a bit of horror. It's blurred by Stephen King at the back, I can see, and he said impossible to put down. So this has gotten some great reviews, and it was really funny when I picked this up in the charity shop and I brought it to the counter, the lady that works here was like, oh, I wanted to read that. I was like, I'm really glad I grabbed that. So like I said, fairly new release. I think this was a 2018 release for her, and yeah, found in the charity shop. Cannot wait to read it. And then the other Emma Donoghue book that I've got is this one, Frog Music. And again, this one sounds really interesting. It's an historical fiction. It seems to have an interesting cast of characters. Paris, I love anything set in Paris. And a slight thriller element to it as well. So as you can see by the sticker, she wrote Room. I actually have no interest in reading Room. That's the one I'm not that interested in reading, but this one sounds fantastic. So we'll see how this is, and I picked this one up at Oxfam, so pretty cool. Then the next one, this is one of those ones where I kind of just was browsing the shelves and I thought it sounded really nice, and this is called Keeping the Moon. And this is about a teenage girl. She gets sent away over the summer to go work somewhere, I think a cafe, and she meets some people there and she forms friendships. So it's I suppose, one of my favourite tropes, friendship between girls. And it just sounded really lovely and really beautiful to read, and a nice kind of summer read when the weather decides to play ball with me. So yeah, really nice one. The next one is, again, this is an author I've been wanting to read more of, and I literally had that down as a thing, find more, Patricia Highsmith. And I did, and also, how gorgeous is this edition of this book? So this is Deep Water. Patricia Highsmith wrote The Talented Mr. Ripley. She also wrote one of my all-time favourite books, Carol. This one is about a couple, and I think one or both of them are having quite dark thoughts, so it's a bit of a thrillery, mystery kind of element to it, and a relationship, sort of domestic thriller maybe, but it sounds really fascinating, and I absolutely adore this version of the book, and again, couldn't believe it was one of the authors that was on my list to read. The next one was one I literally picked up by accident, just sort of walking past a shelf. I really was just walking past a shelf. And that's this one here, The Black Dahlia. Now, the Black Dahlia murders were very famous. I think it's back in the 47, so the late 40s. And it was an actress that was killed. I think it was one. Yeah, it was an actress that was killed. So this is the kind of investigation, the fictionalized investigation of those murders, and I love kind of crime and crime thrillers, and because it's actually based on the real Black Dahlia murder, I believe, I think that's going to make it really interesting. So yeah, I just saw it, and I saw the Black Dahlia, and I was like, oh, I need to read that, because it kind of fascinates me, the story, and I believe it's not really been solved yet. So yeah, this kind of fascinates me. Then the next one I may have picked up because I like the cover. Nice cover. So this is called Risk by Sam Skybourne, and this is a detective thriller, a lesbian detective thriller. So you have three women, and I think something along the back of it, it says something about their it's about friendship and love, and I believe there's a bit of sex in it, and they one of these women is a cop, and she's investigating a crime. And it just sounds like the perfect book. I love a queer crime detective thriller with a bit of romance thrown into it. Again, not something you see much of. So this, in a charity shop, my heaven. Then the next one, speaking of crime and thriller, is this book over here, is The Girl in 6E. And again, this is a gorgeous book. I have a thing for red and black. I think it was Books and Lala that was talking about this book, and it just sounded really interesting. So the main character is a cam girl. She goes online and she does sort of things in front of the camera, but she has this thing where she can't leave her apartment because she has these kind of dark thoughts, and she's basically just, it's like in self-enforced prison, and she hasn't really seen anyone in real life for years. So yeah, that's kind of the premise of it. I'm guessing she's probably going to come into contact with someone at some point in this book, but it sounds like a really cool, weird, wonderful thriller, and I think Books and Lala really liked it, so I am looking forward to this. I think it's a bit risque in places as well, so we'll see how that goes, but yeah, it sounds good, and again, yeah, Heart Foundation I think I found this in, so very cool. And then the last book I found is this one over here. It is It by Alexa Chung. Now, I really love Alexa Chung's style, and this book is essentially about her and about her style, so it's a style book. It's really beautiful, lots of gorgeous photography. It's just a kind of a gorgeous coffee table book, and it's bound in cloth, in this beautiful kind of pink cloth, and I paid £1 for it, which I mean, yes, it cost £17 new. I remember when this came out, it looked really interesting. I didn't get it at the time. But yeah, I saw it in the charity shop and I was like, I have to get this. So I got it. So anyway, so that is my haul. And oh, I'm wearing something that I actually found in a charity shop. So not the t-shirt, but this, I don't know if you can see the back of this jacket. This is actually a vintage Escada jacket. And it's kind of from the early 80s. I believe, and it's even got the label inside actually says it's from West Germany, so I guess before the war, but it is gorgeous, and I found this in a charity shop, so vintage designer, You don't normally find that, but I was very lucky. Anyway, so that's it. I will speak to you guys all again soon. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.